Welcome to Let's Talk Sport and Sports Keaton. Today we're bringing, well, maybe, I don't know how heated this debate will be. I mean, Liverpool fans will always stick to their man and Real Madrid fans will always stick to their man. So, but actually, there's only one Liverpool fan and there's no Real Madrid fans. So really, it's quite unbiased coming up. But anyway, this is our video and we are bringing you Sergio Ramos versus Virgil van Dijk. Now, in terms of this season, one of them's had a very much better season, but there was a bit of a debate over the weekend in which I can't remember who it was that said Van Dijk is the best defender in the world. I actually said it last week, but then
Ferdinand.
No, didn't Ferdinand say Sergio Ramos was the best defender in the world?
Oh, Paul Merson.
Paul Merson, that
Probably
was it.
Sutton said it at some point.
Yeah, knowing him. But anyway, that is, we just thought we'd talk about both of them and see out of us lot who we think is better. Let's start off with you, Luke, because you're a big Van Dijk fan,
Yeah.
and you are a big Liverpool fan. But, you know, Van Dijk, what a transfer he's been since joining, not the January that's gone, but the year before.
Yeah, when everyone signed him, everyone thought, oh, Liverpool going back to their feeder club Southampton again. I think Mark Goldbridge called him the Dutch Chris Smalling. Oh, how wrong was he? Since this season, he probably has been the world's best defender. He's not been dribbled past this season at all in the league or the Champions League, and he's probably has been the best player in the league this year. When you got Ramos, who would say is on the decline, maybe starting that phase where he's now not at the peak of his powers anymore, and you know how much of a hothead he is. Most red cards in La Liga and stuff like that. So yeah, like this season, obviously, like if you look at each other's trophy cabinet, there's only one winner, which is Ramos. He's won more. But Van Dijk's not really won anything in England unless you count the Scottish Premiership and Scottish Cups.
Well, it's not in England. It's in Scotland, isn't it?
Yeah. No one counts his useless cups.
Connor, I mean, wow, that was a statement.
Yeah.
Connor, I always look at Sergio Ramos and think he's really annoying, but he's very good at what he does to be annoying, especially with what happened at the Champions League final last year. As people like him will say he did that on purpose to Mo Salah, obviously dislocate his shoulder. But, you know, at the end of the day, Sergio Ramos is one of those, in my eyes, in which he gets in your head. You know, he gets under your skin and frustrates strikers and frustrates referees as well. But he's there, the passion's there, isn't it?
Well, that's what a defender's supposed to do anyway. He's supposed to get underneath your skin. If he's not getting underneath your skin, then I don't think they're doing their job correctly. You know, football, as much as it is a physical game, it's also a mental game. So for Sergio Ramos to have that quality, for even you to watch him on TV, to get him annoyed, for even Liverpool's fans to watch him on TV, to get him annoyed, I think it just shows how good of a quality a defender that he actually is. You know, his history for not only club, for also country as well, is very strong. Won the World Cup, of course, and 2 European Championships. And, you know, is it 4 times or 5 times La Liga winner?
I think 5, and then was it 5 European Cups? 4 European Cups?
Four Champions League.
Sorry, Champions League. I'm still talking in 90s terms.
And of course, not only that, but individual awards for him as well. Several times in the player of the in the team of the season, both for UEFA and FIFA as well. So you know he's got the honours to list it past and things like that. But you know I think we're looking at 2 different players at 2 different points in their careers. Van Dijk's just got this big move to this new club, and he's made an impact almost immediately from the year that he the transfer window that he moved there. Whereas Ramos, you know, when was he last playing for Seville?
2002.
It was quite some time ago. Yeah. So he's been there for quite some time. He's had some time to settle in, and now he's become club captain for Real Madrid as well. So you know he's definitely a strong and quality player. You know, if you ask Ramos who he thinks the best player defender in the world is, he would say Rafael Varane, won't he? He just loves him completely. Loves playing alongside him, and yeah, I think as well what he pointed out. I think it might have been him or it might have been someone else that you know. You can have this dribbling statistic that no one's dribbled past you, but if no one's coming approaching you with the ball, there's not really much of a statistic to stand by because you know attackers aren't going to constantly go towards the best defender in order to try and score a goal. They're going to look for the weakest point in the defence. And
Dejan Lovren, you're going to target
Dejan Lovren,
basically. Joel Matip.
Yeah, Dejan Lovren, Matip, and Gomez. How many times have they been dribbled past?
Should we put him in the debate after he said last year he thinks he's one of the best defenders in the world?
But you know, just to add on to that whole dribbling statistic, you know, you can say he's not been dribbled past at all in this season. season in the Champions League or the Premier League. But you got someone like Jamal Lascelles that plays for Newcastle United, and you think about how many goals Newcastle United conceded this season, and he's only been dribbled past 3 times this season, and that's the second lowest in the Premier League. I think. Biased point of view because he's a former Forest player. I think Jamal Lascelles is a fantastic defender, and he'll eventually get another move to another big club.
Not a good Forest fan, just to remind everyone.
But it's not to say Virgil van Dijk's not a great defender, but I just think the defence, the dribbling statistics, are a bit overhyped really, because attacking teams aren't going to be looking to constantly force the ball towards Van Dijk's direction in order to score a goal. They're going to be looking for the weakest points.
Andrew Pollard, we haven't heard from you. I mean, you enjoy La Liga. I know you enjoy European football. You enjoy English football as well.
I do, and Welsh football. I think it's very, I don't know, I'm not really keen on being so finite with things where this guy is, there is a best in this. They both got different qualities. Ideally, you think they'd be a great partnership together, Van Dijk and Ramos, because Van Dijk's the more ball playing, calm, composed. And you always need a bit of bite in a team. A horrible bastard, for lack of a better term. A Roy Keane, a Patrick Vieira, a Sergio Ramos, as it proved in the European or the Champions League final. You need that person that's willing to go that extra level, which isn't always great, but it just needs to be done to get a result. But I don't know, if you're going to throw statistics out, I think Atletico Madrid have only conceded 17 goals all season in La Liga. Barcelona conceded 26. So if you're looking at the greatest defenders in the world, you then throw in a Diego Godin or Jimenez in there. You've got someone like Toby Alderweireld, I love at Tottenham.
Godin scored recently against Juventus
He
as
did,
well.
but I think at the moment we're at a stage in world football where there's a lack of truly great centre-halves. You've got people on the wane, like Ramos, 32 now. Chiellini was great. Leonardo Bonucci was great. Vincent Kompany was great, but can hardly get a run of 3 games now because of injuries over the years. Yeah, I don't know. Piqué, he's very good in a ball-playing Barcelona team, but
I give you Puyol, but not Piqué.
Yeah, exactly. There's a dearth out there of genuine world-class defenders. Thiago Silva, again, another one that was tip-top class
until he played against United.
Yeah, but that's my point, is that he's on the wane. So if you're looking at there,
against Chung.
Yeah, you're looking out there for the best centre halves in world football. You're probably looking at Ramos and Van Dijk, and then, like I said, someone like an Alderweireld or Godin or Rafa Varane.
Laporte, Stones.
I wouldn't put Stones in that bracket.
Not yet though.
I think Laporte needs an extra season. He's had a really good season.
Yeah.
But I think Laporte needs an extra year. You've got Koulibaly as well. Everyone goes on about Napoli, big, strong, powerful, quick. I don't think it comes down to just Van Dijk and Ramos, but obviously they're in the conversation because that's what we're talking about them for.
Yeah, it's between them two. But Luke, how do you feel after hearing that then?
Yeah, I think they have both got the qualities. Like Ramos is a bastard, but if he's on your team, he's your bastard.
Yeah.
But when he's on the opposition team, you sort of you're waiting for him to be sent off. But yeah, they both got their qualities. I think they'd be great together. Like Ramos would be the one that would be sliding in for the tackles, and Van Dijk would be just gliding around the back. Like it was against Everton, I think. I watched the Everton game and Van Dijk looked like didn't even break a sweat in that whole game, by the way that he was just anticipating play and stuff like that.
Walcott was too busy passing the ball away before he got close to him. So,
Theo.
In all fairness, I thought he was the same against United, Van Dijk, where he didn't really. Well, he just looks like he can play 90 minutes without any problems, no matter how busy he gets. And, that in itself is pretty exceptional for a player like himself. But, Connor, you look at Van Dijk and think, could he be someone that would stay at Liverpool long term? Because, to become that most recognisable defender like Sergio Ramos or Rio Ferdinand, etc., it's to win the trophies as well. So would he have to look at Liverpool and think, is there a time set where he thinks, right, we haven't won anything in the first 3 years since I've been here. Do you think he would need to move on otherwise, or do you think he's committed?
They're already looking to potentially offer him a new deal in order to scale off the interest from Real Madrid and Barcelona this summer. They're looking into bringing him, and I wouldn't be surprised if Real Madrid came in for a really hard bid in order to achieve that, or potentially going in somewhere like Juventus as well to push them over the edge too. But yeah, it's going to be a tough task for Liverpool to try and hold on to him. But if they were to win the league this season, then I think that plays a big ball into their court in terms of, yes, we've got the potential to stride on. Yes, we did lose the Champions League final last season, but we've shown that over the past year that we can grow into a side that can compete in Europe. We'll have to wait and see how they do against Barcelona. Unfortunately, not Barcelona, But Bayern Munich, we're recording this before then, so we don't know if they're still in the Champions League or not. So, potentially by the end of the season, Liverpool could have 2 silverware on their mantelpiece, depending on how well they do in both competitions, and that'll play a big favour into Van Dijk's future at the football club.
See, I think that. I mean, I don't have much love for Liverpool. Putting that out there.
I'm the same.
Yeah, but I think that just from seeing
Luke,
interviews with Van Dijk, he
It'll be
seems the sort of level-headed, composed sort of a bloke who would still stay there even if they didn't win anything this season. He seems like he's quite prepared to stay there and become, rather than thinking where can I go to get instant trophies and line my trophy cabinet, he's thinking more, if I stay here and I get this Liverpool team to do something, I could go down as a club legend. And I think he's more than prepared to kind of wait it out for at least a couple more seasons down the line. And even if a Real Madrid came in with, 150 million, where it really forced Liverpool to think about it, and if they accepted an offer, I don't think he'd be too keen to move. I think he'd turn down any advances that come his way, for now anyway, which is painful to say. He's going to be there for a while, and he's a really good leader. I think if you're breaking it down to the crux of it of Ramos and Van Dijk, it's a case of who's been the better player. You look at Sergio Ramos, who's won the most Sergio Ramos, who's the most decorated Sergio Ramos. But if you said to probably all 4 of us, who would you buy right now at this stage, it's always going to be Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah. No, I think I completely agree with you. I mean, so many teams would want him in their spot.
He could walk into any team in the world.
Easily.
Easily. Yeah.
It is. As mentioned,
Would we say he is the best defender in the Premier League right now, then?
Yeah.
Even by a mile. Who's even close, would you say?
Well, if Phil Jones was getting games, obviously.
Or Chris Smalling had a few more, maybe.
No.
I wish.
I think it's. You mentioned Laporte as well, Man City,
Laporte.
who's been brilliant this season. I think it's between those 2, and I've got a lot of love for Toby Alderweireld and Jan Vertonghen at Spurs. But I think,
I just don't think they do it for me enough, though.
That's because you don't like Spurs.
Well, they always Spurs it up, but
I think with Alderweireld, like now he's gotten older, he's getting more injuries. Like he's not really adapted to his age at all, which is slightly worrying because he was linked to
Davies and
United.
Sanchez has pushed for his spot in the team as well.
Yes.
So,
I think it didn't help the fact that his whole contract situation was he was Man United came in for him last summer because he was seeing out his
summer though.
That's it. He's seen out his contract,
Like
so
Pochettino's
Pochettino's been hesitant to give him a game. I think, and especially you mentioned Sanchez coming in, and he's done a good job. He's pushing on. But you think it was Spurs? They could probably do him another. Matthias de Ligt would be perfect for Spurs. It's just in terms of
Spurs can't afford him. Spurs can't afford him.
Daniel
It will take like 75-8 mil to get him out of Ajax.
But that's a sort of move where Spurs should be making if they're looking to push on now. I know they're not going to because it's Daniel Levy and he's not.
I think he said he wants to join Liverpool. The baby Van Dijk next to the actual Van Dijk.
No, I think he'll end up at Barcelona, to be fair.
he'll end up at
But
Liverpool.
you think Spurs have got that link up with Ajax where they've had Vertonghen, Alderweireld, Eriksen, Sanchez, all from there. But yeah, we're getting off the topic there totally.
It's all right. It's all right. We'll let you off. We'll let you off for now.
It's any chance to talk about Ajax, really.
Yeah.
That's all. Me and my Dutch stuff.
Daley Blind. It's all about Daley Blind, you know.
Oh man. What
I mean, he's not
beautiful-
blind anymore.
Dusan Tadic, mate.
Tadic. Oh, beautiful play. Anyway, we really are going off topic, but quickly wrap up. Andy, if not Ramos or Van Dijk, I mean, maybe one of them is your favourite defender at the moment, best defender in the world. Who'd you go for?
I don't know. Purely, you look on trophies. I guess Rafa Varane. It's again, he's another defender where he could walk into any team in the world. I know
he always has quiet games, as in no one criticises him at all, which is great. And
I think he's been criticised this season. Like since the World Cup, he's not really.
The whole team's been dreadful. Hasn't
He's
it,
not
let's
really
be
hit
honest.
the.
It's a Real Madrid team that's in transition massively, just purely by taking out the 50 goals a season that Ronaldo chap would bring to the table. That
guy,
you might have heard of him.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
He's all right.
He's like Billy the Kid. You hear about him, and there's wanted posters everywhere.
Yeah, but that's such a massive detrimental effect on that Real Madrid team, just in terms of taking away such an important part of it. And the managerial changes. It looks like Solari's only going to have a matter of days before he's given the boot at Real Madrid. So it's. I'd still. I don't know if I was going out to buy one defender in the world right now. I'd probably go with Rafael Varane, even though he's not had the best season. Or I look to the future and go Matthias de Ligt. But out of Van Dijk and Ramos, Van Dijk gets it for me every day of the week.
Conor Porter.
Yeah, I'd just say Van Dijk as well. I think definitely in the argument right now. If you're going to go for someone, it has to be Van Dijk. If you're going, over the course of the careers, and obviously it's Ramos because he's got the trophies to show it for it. But if you're going right now, Van Dijk.
I feel like this is a rhetorical question for you, Luke.
It's Van Dijk for me. Just based on this season, it's been Van Dijk. But like Conor said, if it's based on his entire career, it would be Ramos.
A trophy's definitely needed for Van Dijk, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Either this season, next season, need a trophy.
Well, anyway, that's our thoughts here at Let's Talk Sport. And, of course, you've been watching on Sports Keeda. My thanks to these guys. And remember to subscribe for more of our videos.